Police have released body cam footage of a shooting where a little girl was wounded. You can see officers rushing to help the girl who was in her father's arms outside of their apartment. You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. As the 3-year-old recovers at the hospital, her father is speaking out, calling the responding officers angels. Sherry Einhorn has the story.
This is body cam footage released by the Suffolk County Police Department. A warning, the video is hard to watch, but it shows a homicide detective and a 7th precinct officer rushing a 3-year-old shooting victim to the hospital in their squad car.
She's 3 years into this world. She don't deserve to be going through that.
Her name is Lovely Tony. Her father says she's stable and expected to recover after being shot in her hand and abdomen.
I scooped her up, brought her outside.
So what happened? Police say the bullet that hit the toddler was fired from a gun in the hands of a homicide suspect who was in the apartment next door. It pierced the connecting wall and hit her as she was playing on the couch.
All we was doing was being a regular family and doing our regular rituals that we do every day, and became victims.
Suffolk police say it happened around 8:30 Tuesday night at the Strathmore Ridge complex. Detectives investigating a June 19th homicide in Central Islip were led to the apartment next door. They were there to talk to a woman linked to the suspect, 38-year-old Gary Jones, and were surprised when he was there.
As the detectives tactically entered the location, Mr. Jones's silhouette was observed by one of the detectives raising his hand and holding a firearm. Jones immediately started firing multiple shots at our detectives.
What happened next was a 3.5-hour standoff, which ended around midnight when detectives discovered Jones was dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The commissioner says no one from the police department fired a weapon during the standoff, and he says none of the detectives or officers at the scene were injured in the shooting. As for little Lovely, her father says he's so thankful he stumbled into Detective Luis Cabrera and Officer Christian Hernandez when he ran out with his daughter screaming for help. He called them angels.
It really hasn't really sunken in. And I guess through the grace of God that she's all right.
In Ridge, I'm Sherry Einhorn for Newsday TV.
Investigators got a cheek swab from the suspected Gilgo beach killer. Sources tell Newsday Rex Heuermann took the swab last week. Prosecutors wanted this test to get additional DNA, which could help their case. The 59-year-old Massapequa Park man pled not guilty to murder charges in the killings of 3 women. And tomorrow, Newsday TV's Joy Brown will be talking with the Gilgo case with Suffolk Sheriff Errol Toulon Jr. Be sure to watch the one-on-one conversation. And a former Long Islander has been arrested for his alleged involvement in the January 6th riots. 60-year-old Anthony Mastanduno lived in Farmingdale at the time of the Capitol breach. These are photos of him at the Capitol that day. Prosecutors say surveillance video shows him entering the building. They also claim he was seen attacking police officers. And Rudy Giuliani surrendered in Atlanta today after being charged with trying to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. The former New York City mayor was indicted last week with Trump and 17 others. Giuliani, one of Donald Trump's election lawyers, was released on $150,000 bond. And speaking of Trump, tomorrow the former president is expected to surrender in connection with the Georgia case. This is the 4th criminal indictment against Donald Trump. And he is also not expected to take the stage tonight at GOP presidential debate in Milwaukee. 8 of his opponents will be there. They include Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, former Vice President Mike Pence, and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. All right, and nearly 30 interns graduated today from the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office. The students got an inside look at careers in law enforcement. That includes jobs at correctional facilities, the Warrant Squad, Marine Bureau, and more. The interns also participated in active threat scenarios in the 13-week program. Okay, let's take a look at your Long Island weather, shall we? And it was a pretty beautiful day today. Have you been outside? It's gorgeous. Well, tonight's gonna be mostly cloudy skies with temps in the 60s, and tomorrow we have some cloud cover with temps in the 70s. Taking a closer look at tomorrow, you can see it's gonna be a cloudy day with temps all day in the 70s.
Long Island weather is brought to you by the Canine Center.
Recent shark bites has some beachgoers second-guessing going into the water, but experts want to dispel misconceptions about the apex predators and highlight the good that they do. In part 2 of our series, I got it up close and personal with some sharks at the Long Island Aquarium. It's a story you'll see only in Newsday.
You never know what they're going to do, okay?
This is the look of a man who just realized he's about to share a tank with multiple
Retains his juvenile stripes into adulthood.
sand tiger sharks.
Just go with it.
Ken, how do you feel right now?
But to understand the predators behind the headlines, experts say observing them face to face is sometimes best.
They provide so much benefit to the ocean themselves, and they are extremely misunderstood.
This is shark expert Teddy Telkin. He not only tends to these sea creatures at the Long Island Aquarium, but also tries to dismantle beliefs that stoke fear around Long Island beaches.
They don't have hands, so for them, it is sometimes a bite. You know, exploratory, trying to figure out what it is.
Face to face, these sharks do seem terrifying. Sharp teeth, massive size, and eyes darting about, analyzing every move and bubble. But experts say what should stand out is their curiosity.
This mass phenomenon that sharks are out for people. They're looking for people, and they're not. They're looking for food.
After roughly 20 minutes in the tank, I cannot say I would enjoy meeting these creatures on any given beach day. But if I do, or hear of others meeting them, at least I know a little more on the why behind the encounter. And that's all these animal lovers, and perhaps these animals, can ask for.
Always go to the beach knowing that you are sharing the ocean with them, and not just being, you know, in the water thinking that there's nothing around you.
You're not the main character.
You're not the main character, no. That's them.
And these sharks are massive. Now, to read more about the sharks along our shores, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. And here's what's coming up tomorrow.
I could feel my foot like down the shark's throat. You know, it was.
We're hearing from a surfer who survived a shark attack on our South Shore. A Montauk resort is recreating a 70s vibe. Elisa DiStefano has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
A milestone celebration here at the Montauk Beach House will take you back to when this was the Rancho. The boutique hotel in the heart of downtown Montauk is paying homage to its history.
This property originally opened as a hotel space as the Rancho back in 1953. So this is the 70th year of this property as a hotel.
They pulled inspiration from their past to transform the space into a 70s oasis.
Stay where the stars stay. That's Miss Montauk, by the way.
Featuring old brochures, artwork, and of course, the iconic statue.
Which everyone calls a tiki, but it's actually a moai statue that they built that in 1960 by hand. It's probably one of the most photographed spots in all of Montauk.
Inside, the lobby celebrates 1970s hip-hop culture. The furniture is a 70s-inspired collection. And the original sign was recently restored and is proudly on display.
The success formula we had here was renovating the property but keeping the historical nature of the original property.
If you've been a guest here before, some things stayed the same. You'll recognize the original pools. Their restaurant is reminiscent of the original design. You can order tacos, pizza, and their specialty cocktail. This one's non-alcoholic, the Rancho. They're also serving a 70s-themed cocktail menu. They even brought back the old Rancho keys, but of course, the rooms are totally different.
The interior rooms of what they look like.
Which they don't look like
Anymore.
anymore. What was the 1975 summer rate?
It's $95 for the weekend.
I'll take it. Yep, those rates have gone up. but this season's stay does include a dose of nostalgia.
It's a place where art, music, and fashion converge.
For Newsday TV, Elisa DiStefano.
And they did a heck of a job, didn't they? Now, to read more about what to do in the Hamptons and in Montauk, go to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
In this day and age of social media and of misinformation everywhere you look, it's so critical for my work to come from a respected, trusted source where readers know they can trust it day in and day out.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll leave you now with a look at your 7-day forecast.